Hello, Eddie Tony here, creator of the Psychedelic Recode and also the Breath Recode. They are the exact same coaching programs. It's a 9-week system developed to help the person collapse an outdated way of living and build an inner foundation of stability, of clarity, of sound decision making, and also resilience. The only difference between the programs is one uses psychedelics and one uses somatic breath work. Everything else is the same. I'm going to share a small component that I use in my coaching practice. So this workshop is going to help anybody who wants to clear any resentments. A lot of us, many of us, I would say the majority of us, hold resentments unconsciously, some consciously, and when you're holding on resentment, it harbors. Imagine this as a ball of energy, and it spins and compounds in itself, and it tightens and it becomes dense. That compounding energy is actually zapping and taking energy that can be used for creativity, for your physical energy, for joy, or simply being like at peace, but from an internal state. A lot of people are calm, they are at peace, but it's more of a calm performance. They're trying to think their way into being calm or at peace. That is also costing you energy as well because you're performing calm. Okay? True calm comes from deep within, and there's a huge shift when you start to recognize the nuances. It's profound. Many of us carry micro, macro resentments, and we don't always see them, and they store in the body. And when I say in the body, it's in the body, but it's actually in the mind, because our bodies are connected to our minds, our minds are connected to our bodies. So when there's tension in the mind, okay, it causes tension in the body. And over time, this will disrupt every area of your life. Like I said, it pulls energy. It causes contraction, okay, so energy can't flow, so you feel tighter physically. You feel constrained mentally, and then emotions don't feel light. They feel like heavy. And instead of having stability and groundedness in your inner column, I teach inner column a lot in my programs because that's what we're all developing, our inner column. People perform calm. Okay, there's a big difference. So let's begin here. First, always breath to allow the body to soften. Take a breath in through the nose. Fill the belly, fill the lungs, hold it right there. And then another breath in through the nose, right up to the crown. Hold, and let it go with a gentle sigh. Okay, another breath in through the nose for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it right there. Another full breath into the nose and hold it at the top. In 3, 2, 1. Let it go with a sigh. Okay, one more time. Inhale through the nose. Allow the belly to expand in all directions. Bring the breath all the way up to the top of the lungs. Okay, up to the top of the throat. Hold right there. Hold it. The next inhale, imagine the air going all the way up to the crown. Inhale again. Hold. And then let it go. Now come to perfect breath. 5 into the nose and 5 out through the nose. Another breath into the nose, expanding the belly. expanding the chest, extending and lengthening the spine. And then on the exhale, allow the softening of the shoulders, the jaws, the cheeks, the forehead, the mind. And then scan the body and see where you might be harboring any energies of resentment. So where does it feel like a dense ball of energy in the body? Bring your awareness to that space. Okay, now connect that energy with somebody who you are harboring resentment towards. Whoever comes to the mind first, try not to think about it too much. Allow it to drop in. Then on the next inhale, allow the breath to disperse some of the energy. And on the exhale, allow that dispersed energy to just float away, transforming, harmonizing with the air. Another breath in, into that ball of energy, the pit of the ball of energy. And then allow the exhale to disperse the energy, thanking the air for transforming. Okay, you're ready, you can open the eyes. I want you to grab a pen and paper and just write down that person who you have resentment towards. Okay, now I want you to write the exact thing, the exact instance action that they did in order for them to elicit this energy within yourself. Okay, just write it down in one statement. Okay. So make sure that is short and concise and precise. So for example, I'm holding resentment towards this person because on Monday they were angry, raised their voice, and aggressive towards me. I want you to be like that specific. One, two, and three. Let's keep it simple. They were 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we're going to put it back onto ourselves. This is the law of mirroring, a reflection of transparency. Just to own that we also have these traits within ourselves that might have been suppressed, not fully expressed. Now go back. It can be as early as childhood, teenage years, adulthood, the past year, the past couple years. I want you to press pause and list 10 ways you have acted out in this exact same way. Trust me on this, okay? So press pause and just write it out. Write it out, say it out, and own it. right, so coming back, you have your 10. You have your list. Now, each instance, I want you to write how that reaction, so you reacted in that way, similar to the other person who acted in the same way, in that specific moment in your occurrence, how did it benefit you? How did it serve you? Okay, so for each of the 10, how did it benefit you and serve you in that moment? I'm not saying the way to react or respond the way that you did is quote unquote correct. I just want you to own it. Okay, and then once you have 1, 2, or 3 positive benefits and how it served you, I want now how it indirectly or directly benefited or served that other person or the people around. So press pause and write down how it served and benefited you, served and benefited the other person, and anyone else involved. All right, coming back. So can you now see that the reason why you acted that way is because a part of you saw value in allowing that emotion to be expressed? I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. In my book, I talk about the myth of good or bad. Once you start to see this, everything becomes neutral in a good way. You are angry, but you have healthy expressions of angry. You're sad, but you have balanced expressions of sadness. It's there, you feel it, but it doesn't consume you. Now, can you have a little bit more empathy around that person that you have resentment towards after you see yourself in the exact same shoes as that person? Again, I want to state, you may not want to react that way. You may not like that they reacted that way. And these reactions may not be the best way to respond to a situation. However, this practice helps you to reduce the shame and the self-judgment. Okay? See what happens when we don't own up and accept our negative traits. When other people display that same trait, we get activated. So when that happens externally, you have to bring it back upon to yourself and see how you have acted in that way. See why and see all the positive benefits it came out of it for you and the other person. And this helps to reduce the shame and the self-judgment that we lock ourselves in. Shame and self-judgment locks all the negative, quote unquote, again, energies in, and it harbors. That's the heaviness that we feel. You can't build a strong, stable foundation without performing it if you don't clear this energy, because this energy of shame and judgment and anger and resentments, that's your foundation currently. You notice how your energy begins to shift after you stated everything out? Okay, because it was hiding in the subconscious and you're bringing it to the awareness. So now what we can do is close the eyes, acknowledge the the other person, acknowledge yourself, that you're exactly the same person, expressed in different ways. Theirs, yes, may have been to a higher degree, yours less, but underlying energy is still the same. And the more that you can see the whole picture of things, the more that you can genuinely empathize with the other, because you have also acknowledged that energy within yourself, that resentment will start to dissolve, fully collapse. And this is a practice that you can come back to. This is a way of seeing life. And let's anchor this in with some grounding breaths to strengthen our inner column. In through the nose, fill the belly. Feel the air stack kind of from the pit of the belly, bottom of the spine, going all the way up. Let it go. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to get coached by me under the Psychedelic Recode, just send me a message. I'll send some information. It's a 9-week program. It's intensive, but really this is like the most effective program that I've ever developed, that I've been refining over the past decade from all my experiences, but it's really come together in the final years upon writing my book, getting mentorship, and I'm just excited. I coached 2 people through it last year and decided I wanted to make a thing that's offered publicly. And this year, January, I just launched it and I'm coaching 2 more people. And yeah, so far the results are just phenomenal. All right, thanks for tuning in.